Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video. Join me once again in my Mark 7 Golf R to talk about why I haven't bought a Mark 8 Golf R yet. So let's get straight into this video. Just welcome back to another video. I hope everyone is all well. Now, as you may or may not know, as part of my channel, I speak about the Golf R quite a lot. I've spoken about the Mark 7 Golf R and the Mark 8 Golf R, as long as other products like Mark 8 Golf GTI, the Club Sport as well, and the 45 edition, and even the Mark 7 GTI as well. Cars that I think are absolutely fantastic, I should stress. But one of the cars that I've built up over the last couple of years was the Mark 8 Golf R. And first of all, thank you so much for being part of the channel, subscribing, liking the videos, and sort of following it along that journey. Because I spoke to a lot of owners from even like the first one I spoke to in Switzerland, who shared his collection day experience with Mark 8 Golf R. And he was chatting to me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you fancy it, and DM me if you want to lend me a car potentially or give me an idea. And he was saying how much he enjoyed that sort of like following the whole experience week by week, day by day, however often I posted, which I do post quite a lot on this channel. And that was fantastic. And to see his car in the flesh when it was done, not in the flesh obviously, but from the images he showed me, it was fantastic. And I've had a lot of experience from that from Mark 7 owners as well as Mark 8 owners, so thank you so much for that. But the big question is, why haven't I got one yet? You know, I've spoken about this car for so much. You might be watching this and thinking, well, why hasn't he got it? Has he not got it because he doesn't like it? Has he not got it because he doesn't have any money? Has he not got it because he prefers another car? What's the reason? Well, I'll be honest with you, if you followed my channel quite a fair bit, you know that the market is kind of all over the place, particularly in the car industry. New cars are getting very, very expensive. I have to say, price is kind of a big factor in my decision not to have a Mark 8 Golf R yet. I'll be completely honest with you. New cars are hard enough to get anyway at the best of times, let alone when you've got an asking price of around £40,000 without any options. But the one thing I want to stress is that I absolutely love this Mark 7 Golf R. It's just absolutely brilliant. It's a fantastic car. And I still speak to Mark 7 and Mark 7.5 owners with the Golf R, and yeah, I can't really fault it. I think it suits everything that I could possibly want. And that's a big part in my decision as well. One thing that I should stress as well, I think if I was sitting in a Mark 8 Golf GTI Club Sport, Mark 7 40th Anniversary Edition, Mark 7.5 TCR, or a Mark 8 Golf R, I think I'd be saying the same thing. I wouldn't be looking to move on to anything else. I'd be satisfied with what I had had. That's basically what I'm saying. Any one of those cars I'd be proud to own, and that's kind of why I discuss them so much on this channel, and I hope you enjoy the content that I produce on them. And hopefully it helps you out and it improves your experience of owning the car, or maybe potentially getting into a car. Speaking to an owner this week who got himself into a Mark 7.5 Golf R Estate. He's saying, following the channel for years, I took the plunge, went for it, went from a GTD, I believe it was. And yeah, fantastic. That's just great to hear. That's exactly what I wanted the channel to be about. It's just a community channel. I'm just a normal guy. I'm not sitting here asking to sell you anything. I'm just passionate about cars and I enjoy talking about them and sort of sharing my experiences with them, as well as sort of future products. On the future product stuff, VW released a video on their YouTube channel, which is a bit of a weird YouTube channel. They sort of show like 30-second clips of stuff, called the Golf R variant. The Mark 8 Golf R variant. It was shown in estate form. I don't know if that's got any additional power, but I'll share a bit more of an update once I find out more on that, but I thought I'd just add that in there. So not skipping around the question too much, but the truth is, I would happily own that car. I think it's great. I think all the products the cars that I talk about on this channel, of course I'd be really happy to own. They're fantastic cars. I think the things that people don't always get are quite always subjective to an individual. And something that I've actually heard quite a few bits from a few recent reviews. I try to stay away from the reviews because I like to share my own thoughts, but I do chirp in and look at a couple. And a lot of people were sort of saying about the steering of, say, like the Mark 8 Golf R compared to the Mark 7. They didn't feel it was quite as good, didn't feel it was that great. And that's always something that's very subjective and something that is very much for the driver. And I'll be honest with you, it brought back memories when I had my Mark 7 Fiesta ST, a car which handled brilliantly, but you had no idea which direction it was going when you turned the wheel. It had the lightest steering and it was just so electric. You had no feel about it at all, you know, I just have to say. But you drove the car off the seats, off those Recaros, and that's how you knew it. Sort of pivoted around you that way. This car is completely different. I actually really enjoyed the steering feel. In fact, I'd probably say, other than the hydraulic racks, which I've had in previous cars, obviously from sort of like 10 years ago, the steering in this is really, really great. And you know, the fact that you can weight it up and sort of make it quite lighter as well is always good. But you always get, I know it's still an electric rack, but you still get a good feel of where the wheels are pointing, you know, and that's always quite cool to drive on. And I've enjoyed it. and the manual gearbox. Obviously, one of the biggest videos on my channel was about the manual gearbox, which I'll link above. That's a big thing. Obviously, if you're from the States, you're going to get a manual gearbox in the Mark 8 Golf R, but you're not going to get it in Europe. And I completely understand it. In some ways, the DSG does suit the car. You know, I've got no doubt about that. I loved it in the Mark 8 Golf R. Really appreciate the owner giving me the opportunity to drive that, as well as the Mark 8 GTI Club Sport. The DSG box is fantastic. But in a world where everything is changing so fast and everything's becoming so automated, I like that manual. I want the engagement as much as I can. And this car offers it to me. You know, I'm not going to get every gear change right. It's not always going to be perfect, and that's part of the fun. And you always have, it's always something different. Whereas with an automatic, it is going to be the same pretty much each time. I know you can change it to like race mode, Nürburgring road, eco mode, and it's probably going to slow the shifts down and stuff. But it is very, very similar. I love like the throttle response, how you can make it really sharp as well in like race mode and then really soft in eco. There's a lot I love about this Mark 7 Golf R, hence why I've kind of done a channel on it. Because I just think it's perfect. It suits everyone and everything. And that's kind of a big part, and hopefully a bit of an explanation of why I haven't got one yet. But I should stress, if I was sitting in one now, a Mark 8 Golf R, and I owned one, I wouldn't be saying to myself, oh, I wish I could get myself into a Mark 7. But put it that way, you know, if I could afford the car and I can get into it and I was sitting in it now, I wouldn't really be looking to move on, if that makes sense. I'm in that kind of position. But I do think in sort of the subjective feeling, the Mark 7 does edge it for me in certain areas, and that's just always a personal thing. But I'm really interested to know your thoughts in the comments to, you know, what are you going for? You know, I have a lot of Mark 7 Golf R owners on here, a lot of Mark 8 Golf R owners on here, as well as like Club Sport owners and GTI owners and whoever, just passionate people who enjoy the channel. I massively do appreciate your support. What do you think? What's holding you and putting you off from going for a Mark 8 Golf R? Or what's made you kind of take the plunge? Obviously, we've had pretty horrendous times here, let's just be honest. It's been awful in the UK in terms of everything that's gone on with coronavirus, and you can completely see the reason to sort of say, you know what, I just want to enjoy life and get a Golf R. And I'm with you completely. And as I've said in other videos, did a video yesterday around the costings, sort of whether you lease, rent, finance or buy a car. Check it out from the link above. I just think these cars make sense. I think they're good investments, and you have to think about things as an investment when you're spending this sort of money. I just think the value that they offer is just brilliant. It's just absolutely fantastic, and it's those things that make me smile more than even your top of the range sort of supercar. It's a very weird feeling to have, but I think it makes sense for sort of normal people. You know, we're not superstars, you know, we're not celebrities. These are our supercars for me. And that's where I'm kind of going on. Hopefully that answers the question why I haven't got one yet. It's certainly not defeating the car that I think is absolutely brilliant. You know, I've said it on the channel enough. I've driven it, absolutely love it, and I can only thoroughly recommend the car. And hopefully those reasons kind of give you a good idea. I'm not going to completely rule out getting one in the future. I do like to sort of bide my time and sort of get in at the right time, potentially when no one's looking at it. You know, everyone kind of wants that car right now in some ways, and maybe in a year and a half's time, there might be an opportunity to go into it. So, you know, stay tuned and see what happens to that. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just stick with this car forever and enjoy kind of sharing different experiences with you lot as well. You know, I mentioned stuff. I've got like an experience in a Porsche 992 Turbo S next week, which I'm going to share with you as much as I can at Porsche Silverstone. I think experiences like that are fantastic. For a couple of £100 to drive a £170,000 car, it's the experience that means more to me now, particularly of everything that's gone on. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But let me know your thoughts in the comments as of what I've just said. You know, have you got one on order? Are you getting one? Are you holding off, or are you just not going to get one completely? It'd be really interesting to know your thoughts. I think knowledge is quite a big part of this channel. And anything in the comments I think people can find really useful, including myself, to kind of build up this channel more and more. And the more you support it, the more you like it, that really does help the algorithm. The more you share it, subscribe it to other people, it makes a huge difference, particularly to a small channel. And yeah, let's see if we can keep building it, because I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you're enjoying it too, and I think you are. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.